Hey guys, I'm LeoKRogue. Now, I'm not the most qualified person to make this guide because it's really difficult for me to be bad at this game. But because you all matter to me so much, and I know how important this game is to the community right now, I have to try. I have to try my best for all of you. Today, we're going to attempt learning how to be the worst player at AC Unity. I want you to understand that I can't guarantee watching this video will actually make you bad at the game, but I promise that I'll give it my all. So let's get into it. These are my best 5 tips on how to absolutely suck at Assassin's Creed Unity. Number 5. Never let go of high profile. In order to be really bad at killing a few guards in a row before a smoke cloud dissipates, you should use only high profile assassinations on all of them. The basic reasoning for this is that since low-profile assassinate animations are much faster and shorter, and they're completely predictable every single time, that simply won't do for us. If you want to make it very hard for yourself to kill guards in a smooth and fluid sequence, you should kill them with animations that are totally random and unpredictable every time. And that means you want to stab everybody in high profile. What I like to do is, I like to run between guards with high profile, but then let go and assassinate them in low profile. This kills them all before my smoke goes away, and what you need to do is not be like me, because then you'll actually be good at the game, and I hope you didn't click on this video to try to do the opposite of everything I'm about to tell you. That would be really dishonest, and I guess a little bit clever. Anyway, we're all here to learn how to be bad at the game, so just remember being overly clingy with the high profile button is actually an amazing way to be terrible at ACU in general. Like when you're running through the streets, when you need to turn a corner, when you're indoors, never ever let go of high profile. It's one thing to forget to let go of it in stealth, that's a pretty easy one, but if you want to be pretty bad, you can also forget to release high profile in any situation when you need finer control. If you want to get really frustrated at Arno seemingly jumping and climbing all over everything, make sure you never release this button, and you'll be guaranteed to get detected because of bad movement, eventually. If you want to be good for some reason, I don't really know why, then let go of the button when you're cornering or when you're trying to be more precise with your movement. I'm not gonna judge you. Number 4. Never run away from fights. Some fights you just can't win. There are certain situations in AC Unity that can bring down a critical mass of guards upon you for Arno to be up against, and there's just nothing he can do in those scenarios. This is really good, but in order to be terrible at the game, we have to never, and I mean never ever, run away from a fight. No matter how outnumbered we are, we have to stay in and just keep trying to fight everyone, like we're playing the Kenway Saga or Syndicate. If we're very stubborn, and if we always try to stay in combat no matter what, we're guaranteed to get utterly wrecked eventually, so don't worry. Just keep trying to kill everything in open combat and wait for that juicy desync. Number 3. Never use Staggering Strike. One of my favorite tips for assassins who want to get gutted by swords and gunned down by pistols is to never ever use Staggering Strike in a fight. Since Staggering Strike is the core of Unity's combat system, in a similar way to how Counter Kill was the core of the earlier combat systems, not using this ability is the key to being absolutely awful at combat. And if you think that'll make you lethal enough, let me also tell you, you definitely never want to Staggering Strike an enemy off of a perfect parry. Seriously, don't ever do this, because if you do, they'll always fall on their back and you'll be able to insta-kill them with any of your 3 projectiles. Since we want enemies to survive long enough to overwhelm us with off-screen gunshots and unreactable attacks that make us lose minutes of progress, obviously killing enemies in very efficient ways like this is a bad idea. Speaking of which, number 2. Never use your projectiles. The 3 items on the left side of your tool selector, the Phantom Blade, Berserk Blade, and Firearm, are all very powerful. Avoiding these items is a great, fast, and easy way to start sucking at Unity, so let's go over each of them. Gunshots are loud, sure, but avoiding them completely will leave you incapable of dealing with gunners who are slowly detecting you at the edge of their perception range. If you switch to pistol, your attack range will become the same as their sight range. Because of this, and because all gunners die in a single gunshot from any source, refusing to switch to pistol will ensure you have no way to hard counter a gunner whose vision you have no choice but to move through. This is an awesome way to bring the entire militia population of France on your head, and I can't recommend it enough. Phantom Blades can one-hit kill anybody with a headshot, and they're completely silent for the most part. They also scale with Arno's overall damage stat from things like swords and better pistols, so using Phantom Blades in a fight really helps to mitigate enemy aggression on you. To prevent any chance of being accidentally good at Unity, you probably shouldn't use them. Finally, Berserk Blades are the best projectile in the game for staying in stealth against single guards who are isolated. If a guard is starting to look at you, never quickshot them with a Berserk Blade, because this will delete their detection meter for several seconds. During this time, their AI also turns off, and you can stroll up to them for a free kill. Because this is legitimately overpowered and one of the best moves in the entire game, you should never do this. And now that I just mentioned something about the best moves in the game, my number one tip: avoid smoke bombs because you think they're cheap. This is it. This is the holy grail of how to be absolutely horrible at this game. No tip on this list will make you more violently, horrendously, agonizingly garbage at Assassin's Creed Unity than avoiding smoke bombs because you think they're too strong. You know how Staggering Strike is the core of combat? Smoke bombs are the core of stealth in this game. I implore you, please, please stay away from smoke bombs. If you so much as even consider throwing a smoke bomb onto a group of 3 or 4 guards, to make a pocket of safety for yourself to move into and kill from, then your skill at this game will immediately skyrocket to uncontrollable levels compared to players who avoid using smoke because they think it's overpowered. I seriously can't stress this enough. In order to be bad at AC Unity, you have to never ever use smoke bombs at all. There is no quicker way to screw up your scrubness at this game than to begin using the number one item its main playstyle is built on. So those are all the tips I have, but I know that some players are just beyond help here. Some players will be godlike at this game no matter how much advice I try to give them. I know this because I'm one of those players, and if that describes you too, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that you're not alone. I know it's hard being wonderful at this game when you want nothing more than to get totally destroyed by some random gunner. If you find yourself frequently using smoke bombs, staggering striking enemies from a perfect parry, shooting them with a projectile when they're on their backs, and using Berserk Blades to stop detection from single guards who are about to call for help, there's no hope for you. You've gone too far, and there's nothing I can do to make you awful at this game again. If you've worked really hard to be bad at Unity, you should also be super careful not to undo all that hard work by seeing something you shouldn't be seeing. So for example, if you watch my Stealth Reaper videos on Unity and start copying the techniques you see in them, you'll just become better by accident. Some of you have already had this happen to them, and I'm really sorry. There was genuinely no way to let you down gently, that's just the reality. But I hope that even though you're an absolute badass at Assassin's Creed Unity, somehow you still find a way to enjoy this game. Until next time, this has been LeoKRogue, and I hope you stay reckless.